Hello! As a part of our CSIR societal program, we are making an awareness video on lake degradation due to urbanization. This mini project is undertaken by students from CSIR-NGRI, Hyderabad, India. Hyderabad is one of India's largest growing metropolitan cities, covering an area of 65,000 hectares, situated on the bank of Musi River in the northern part of the Deccan Plateau. The city had a population of 1.25 million in the 1961, which increased to 10.2 million in 2021, with a metropolitan population of 9.84 million, making it India's sixth most populous city. Hyderabad has hundreds of lakes that form a vital part of this urban ecosystem. The lakes have ecological, environmental, and economic functions to support the local population. Now let's understand what is the lake and how it is formed.
A water body with a minimum depth of 3 meters, which spreads to cover an area of more than 10 hectares with little or no aquatic vegetation, is a lake. Lakes have standing waters and they are not connected to oceans. Lakes have bowl-shaped depressions which are at or below the local groundwater level. These depressions are referred to as lake basins. There are many ways these basins can be formed. First, a meteorite. They hit Earth at extreme speed and create basins which later get filled up by nearby streams or rainwater. Second, tectonic. When the crust breaks due to tectonic activities, deep cracks called faults may form. This fault, when filled with a nearby stream or rainwater, form a lake. Third, volcanic. After a volcano becomes inactive, its crater may fill with rain or melted snow and become a lake. Fourth, glacier. The huge masses of ice carve out great pits and scrap the land as they move along slowly. When the glaciers melt, water fills those depressions, forming lakes. Fifth, man-made. Artificial lakes were built to store water for agricultural purposes, generate electricity, and guarantee water supply for the locals. In Hyderabad, the lakes are mainly man-made. Although lakes helps in replenishing groundwater levels, they are the sources of water in many local places for the local people and even animals. The people use water from the lakes for domestic purposes and irrigation. The water from the lakes may be used for industrial purposes. Lakes in urban areas provide us with prime opportunities for recreation and tourism.
At our voyages to the global impact of urbanization on lake degradation, some lakes in Hyderabad, those drainage basins were dominated by urban centers, were visited. Some of the lakes we have visited, such as Durgam Cheruvu, Malakam Cheruvu, Usman Sagar Lake, Hussain Sagar Lake, Himayat Sagar, Bedda Cheruvu, so-called Namantapur Lake, Nacharam Lake, Uppar Nalla Cheruvu.
20 acres ఉన్నాయి. ఇప్పుడు యాక్చువల్గా అది మొత్తం కలిపితే 14 acres ఉంది. మిగతా 6 acres సైడ్ మొత్తము కొంచెం కబ్జా చేసి అని చెప్పేసి టాక్ వచ్చింది. ఆ బిల్డింగ్ కనిపిస్తుంది, ఆ బిల్డింగ్ కూడా మొత్తం చెరువులో కూడా ఉంటుంది. అక్కడ బిల్డింగ్ చేస్తే కనిపిస్తుంది. బిల్డింగ్ మొత్తం చెరువులో పట్టినే ఉన్నది. అది ఎవరు వాడట్లేదు, అట్లా వదిలేసారు. కాకపోతే కట్టే వదిలేసారు. అది మొత్తం చెరువు కింద అయిపోయింది. ఇప్పుడు 6 to 7 acres మొత్తం కబ్జా ఉన్నది. ఇప్పుడు ఈ ల్యాండ్స్ కూడా ఇక్కడ కూడా ఇది ఆల్రెడీ డాక్యుమెంట్స్ ఉన్నాయంట వాళ్ళకి. దాంట్లో డాక్యుమెంట్స్ ఉన్నాయి, కాకపోతే అది చెరువు కింద కనిపిస్తున్నాం. 20 acres మొత్తం 8 acres
रिवर वहाँ से पानी आता है. तो इसका जो पहले ये जो लेक था, इसका एक्सटेंड कहाँ तक होगा आपके हिसाब से?
इसका एक्सटेंड तो मेरे ख्याल से वहाँ से
इंदिरा नगर कॉलोनी.
कॉलोनी.
अच्छा.
Urbanization refers to the population shift from the rural areas to urban areas. The Eastwell Planning Commission of the Government of India had an estimate that by 2030, more than 40% of the country's population will be living in urban centers. It is only common sense that as megacities grow, the ravishing of nature in and around these expanding cities become disproportionately large. This fast rate of urbanization and industrialization had made the lakes of Hyderabad the dumping ground of sewage and industrial discharge. The same lakes were being used as drinking water sources for the city until 1930s. What is more alarming is that even the educated and the rich living in the posh colonies of the high-tech city do not seem to understand the problem. The sewage from the high-tech city suburbs is directly let into the nearby Durgam Cheruvu Lake. Overflowing and foul-smelling sewage, hazardous materials, weeds and shrubs, all infested with disease-causing mosquitoes. This is the state of most of the lakes within the Greater Hyderabad district.
Basic remote sensing, GIS and historical satellite imagery visualization were carried out to assess the extent of degradation of some of the lakes in Hyderabad.
For example, looking at the satellite image of Malaka Cheruvu from 2006 to 22, there is a reduction of almost 10 acres of the lake area. This means a nearly 0.6 acres reduction per year. We can also see the satellite images of Pedda Cheruvu from 2001 to 22. There is a reduction of almost 29 acres of the lake area. This gives a reduction rate of 1.4 acres per year. Similarly, from the satellite images of Durgam Cheruvu from 2008 to 22, there is a reduction of around 20 acres of the lake area. This also gives a reduction rate of 1.4 acres per year.
To protect lakes from entering solid waste, innovation has been adopted by the city of Kwinana in Australia. They installed drainage nets to reduce the discharge of waste from drainage systems. It is recommended to implement this idea in our cities also.
We also suggest that unprotected lakes should be identified and proper buffer zones should be demarcated for the protection and maintenance of ecological balance. It will be very effective if the general public understands the problems of lake pollution and degradation due to urbanization, and as responsible citizens join hands with the local administration to protect these surface water bodies by not polluting them with domestic waste. Continuing this work with more statistical analysis and inferences may help to aid in solving the problems of lake pollution and degradation due to urbanization.